Could you tell us a brief history about the Turkish community in Hong Kong?
Sure. Let me start with the short history of our Consulate General in Hong Kong, which might give an idea about the history of the Turkish community here. Our consulate was first established in 1974 before the handover. However, it was closed soon in 1979 and was reopened in 1991. Since then, we have been providing full-fledged consular services to our citizens and foreigners. Given these dates, the history of the Turkish community in Hong Kong would go back to 1970s. Nevertheless, according to our records, most of the members of our community in Hong Kong arrived here in the 1990s, particularly mid-90s and afterwards. The primary reason for the Turkish people who moved to Hong Kong has always been economic and related to business activities. Mainland China's economic progress during the last decades and Hong Kong's traditional role as the gateway connecting in many ways the mainland and the world economies have been the key impetus that attracted Turkish people here. According to our records, the number of the Turkish community in Hong Kong fluctuates around 700. If we dig into details, most of the Turks living here are either expats and professionals working in international and multinational companies and their family members, or businessmen and several shop owners, including Turkish restaurants and people work therein. We have also around 10 to 15 academicians working at Hong Kong universities, some of which are at high-level administrative positions in those institutions. Although it has been temporarily interrupted by the ongoing local and global situations, the number of Turkish students studying in Hong Kong are also at increasing levels.
What are some of the activities the Turkish community engages in the city?
First and foremost, our National Day reception is the main activity every year, which provides a unique opportunity to bring together our citizens. Every year, on 29th of October, we celebrate the proclamation of the Republic of Turkey, which was founded in 1923 by our great leader Atatürk, the first president of the Republic. Last October, we celebrated the 96th anniversary of our Republic here. Furthermore, 23rd of April, which is the National Sovereignty and Children's Day, 19th of May, commemoration of Atatürk Youth and Sports Day are among other national holidays during which we also organize several activities with our community members. For example, last year on the Youth and Sports Day, we organized a hiking trip in Hong Kong with our community in line with the spirit of the day. On Children's Day, we invite children to our consulate and we also tend to organize some outdoor activities for our kids. It's a tradition that kids take over the seats of the high-level officials on that date. So they also take over Consul General's seat here and share their messages and instructions with us. We consider them as our future, and every 23rd of April, they already assume the role of the leaders. During the 23rd of April in Turkey, we receive children from all around the world to honor and cherish the freedom and independence of all people. Besides national days, we also organize some activities and some get-togethers during the religious feasts such as Ramadan and sacrifice feasts. Traditionally, we meet with our nationals during iftar breakfast dinners throughout the Ramadan month. We are in always constant contact with our community members all around the world, including Hong Kong. Advancement in technology and the intensive use of social media platforms provide us with new and practical channels. Almost all of our missions abroad use social media platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, or like WeChat, not only to disseminate information about Turkey to foreign audience, but also to preserve and strengthen the connection of our diaspora in all aspects with their homeland. In this respect, we post messages, images, and videos to our social media accounts in accordance with the importance and meaning of certain dates. For example, next week on 18th of March, our nation will commemorate all its martyrs and we will also celebrate the victory of the battles of Çanakkale, Gallipoli. We remember not only the national and religious days, but also traditional and folkloric dates are also of importance. For example, this month, 21st of March, is the Nevruz feast, which will be celebrated in many Asian countries, including Turkey. This is the celebration of spring. It was added to the UNESCO's representative list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity, following the joint application of Turkey and some other Asian countries like Azerbaijan, India, Iran, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, and Uzbekistan. So these are the main events we try to bring our community together.
What are 3 interesting facts about Turkey you would like to highlight?
Yeah, I would like to highlight some facts from 3 different areas: economy, culture and tourism, and also some facts from demographics and education. Let me give some basic information about Turkish economy. The composition of Turkish economy is like 64% is services, 21% industry, 6% agricultural, and 9% is construction. Turkish economy is very export oriented. All Turkish exports in goods are produced in Turkey. We don't have a re-export economy. Our exports in 2019 reached 167 billion US dollars. The project for the coming year is 190 billion US dollars. And currently Turkey is one of the fastest growing economies in the world, with an average annual GDP growth rate of 5.5%, which is a figure comparable to China's or India's growth in this part of the world. Turkey's income per capita in nominal terms increased from 3,500 USD to 10,000 in nominal, and to 28,000 in purchasing power parity since 2002. Turkey is a natural bridge between both the east and west, just like Hong Kong, and the north and south axis, and creates an efficient and cost-effective hub to major markets. Through the customs union within the EU, as well as 27 free trade agreements, Turkey provides free access to 1 billion consumers all around the world. For example, did you know that 1.5 billion people live within a 4-hour flight radius from Turkey? This is equivalent to 24 trillion USD GDP in Europe, Middle East and North Africa, and Central Asia countries. Turkish Airlines, which is a proud Turkish brand, connects more than 300 destinations in and around 120 countries to Turkey. Istanbul Airport, which is a very interesting fact that I have to share with you, which was opened last year, will be the biggest airport in the world when all phases are completed. Third runway is on its way. The annual capacity of passengers, which is currently 90 million, will rise to 150 million in the second phase. And at the final phase, Istanbul Airport will receive 200 million passengers annually. This is planned for the 100th years anniversary of the Republic. The other interesting factor that I want to share is about demographics and education. Turkey's population is 83 million, and more than 23 urban centers have population over 1 million. Turkey, with half of its population under the age of 32 in 2018, has the largest youth population among the EU member countries. The young people comprise 15.8% of the people living in Turkey. There are currently 13 million people aged between 15 and 24 in the country. And these young people, 95% of them has internet access. Turkey's overall labor force is around 33 million people, which makes the country the third largest labor force in Europe. And more than 6.7 million students are enrolled in higher education currently. Over 800,000 university graduates we have every year. And having said this, I need to highlight the fact that Turkey is a very attractive destination for foreign students to study abroad, including people from Hong Kong, students from Hong Kong. Turkey is the second country in the world in access to higher education, with 94.2% schooling rate. In line with the Bologna process, the diploma one receives in Turkey is recognized in all European countries. There are currently 206 universities in Turkey and 58,000 different programs. I invite Hong Kong students to explore the opportunities of studying in Turkey. In addition to current exchange programs, I recommend them to elaborate on full-time studying and to elaborate on the Turkey Scholarship Program, which is an official program funded by our government. So far, we have received, since the beginning of this project, 150,000 applications for the Turkey Scholarship Programs all around the world. This program is government funded. It provides competitive scholarship program awarded to outstanding students. Every year, around 16,000 students apply, and 5,000 of them get this scholarship, which is provided by the government. And thirdly, let me share some interesting facts about tourism and culture. Turkey is the sixth most visited country in terms of tourist arrivals. In 2019, 52 million foreign tourists visited Turkey, generating around 36 billion USD revenue for the tourism industry. Beginning this year, the target was set for 60 million tourists. However, we don't know yet how much the current global coronavirus crisis will affect tourism all around the world, including Turkey. Istanbul, Aegean Coast, Antalya, and Cappadocia are the main tourism destinations of Turkey, but there's a lot more to discover from east to west and north to south. Let me share some information about Istanbul. Istanbul is the capital of the capital cities and the center of the world. It's one of the only cities in the world which is located on two continents. It was the capital of three great empires, the Roman Empire, the Byzantine and Ottoman Empire, for more than 800 years, for more than in total 2000 years. Variety in Istanbul is really charming for the visitors. It is serving infinite nuances with its museums, churches, palaces, mosques, bazaar places and natural beauties. Antalya, when the Pergamon king Attalos ordered his soldiers to find the heaven on earth, they found today's Antalya. So I strongly recommend all listeners and followers to explore more about Antalya. Year 2020 has been declared as Year of Patara by our government. Patara is a very significant archaeological site. It was the capital of the Lycian Union. Another fact, Saint Nicholas, Father Christmas, Santa Claus, he was born in Demre, in this area. The ancient city of Patara is close to the route of the Lycian Way. It's a very famous hiking route for the hiking lovers. The magnificent beach right next to Patara is not to be missed. It is one of the most beautiful beaches in the Mediterranean, fully protected. You don't see any building around. And the beauty of the sandy beaches is unforgettable. This 18-kilometer beach is also one of the rare beaches of the Mediterranean for the caretta sea turtles. So I invite all of you to explore all these areas and more in Turkey, to explore the tourism, the natural beauties and history and culture of Turkey.